Today, we're taking a plunge into something that might seem simple at first glance. The transformative power of reading English books. It sounds straightforward, but there's a lot there.
There really is.
Yeah, so our mission isn't just, listing the obvious things. We want to unpack how picking up a book is not just about vocabulary or grammar rules.
Right.
It's more about rewiring how you think, how you feel, how you connect, almost like a shortcut to being genuinely well-informed, not just in English, but in life.
And what's great about this deep dive is the source material. It's not just theory.
No.
It's packed with real stories, practical insights from people who've actually done this, people whose lives, in some cases, were changed by reading.
Real experiences.
Exactly. Lived experiences that show this power we're talking about.
Okay, so let's unpack this then. When we think about reading English books, the first thing, the most immediate benefit has to be vocabulary and grammar, right?
Yeah.
Moving beyond just memorizing lists.
Definitely. And the key is how you learn those words. It's not just seeing a word.
Right.
It's seeing it in its natural place, in context, within a story.
Contextual acquisition.
Precisely. You don't just learn the word itself. You absorb its feel, the words it hangs out with, collocations, how it's used idiomatically.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Think about Daniel reading just one page every night. He wasn't just learning words like decision or stand. He was absorbing phrases like make a decision or take a stand.
Okay.
Or Mr. Henry from that simple story about a fruit seller. He learned fair deal and return customer because he saw them used in a situation he could understand. It builds an organic web of language.
Not just a list.
Exactly. And Sarah from England learning fresh, basket, bargain, not from a list but from a story. Or Mark, the mechanic, picking up engine tool repair from the small garage. Context is everything.
So it's language alive, not pinned to a board like a butterfly.
Well put, yeah.
And that same idea applies to grammar too, doesn't it? Reading gives you a kind of visual map, a blueprint for how sentences fit together.
Absolutely. This is where reading really shines compared to traditional grammar lessons. You're not just told the rules.
No.
You see them. You see how words live together in real dynamic ways. Implicit learning happens.
Your brain just picks it up.
Kind of, yeah. It starts recognizing patterns, tenses, questions, negatives, not as abstract rules, but just as how English works.
Like Emma's story.
Exactly. Emma struggled with grammar, but seeing past tense verbs like she walked or they did not bring gifts over and over in the garden party, it just clicked.
Through exposure.
Right. It became intuitive, and Claire, Kate, Helen, Lisa, Susan, they all had similar breakthroughs with simple stories. Your brain absorbs the rhythm, the logic, without you consciously trying.
That's fascinating. So how does all this absorption of patterns lead to actually, thinking in English? That seems like the big goal.
It really is the pinnacle, isn't it? Reading acts as a powerful catalyst here because it helps your brain skip the translation step.
Getting rid of the middleman.
Exactly. When you're lost in a story, your mind isn't constantly converting words back and forth.
Right.
It's connecting English words directly to the ideas, the images, the feelings. You're building new pathways, mental models directly in English.
Like James described.
Yeah, James said he felt like he was inside the story. And from that, he started thinking in English without even trying. It's like building a direct highway in your brain instead of taking the scenic route through translation every time.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. Because the impact clearly goes beyond just the language rules.
Oh, absolutely.
It starts touching on deeper things like confidence, how you communicate as a whole person.
Precisely. Take speaking and pronunciation. Reading exposes you to the natural flow, the rhythm, the music of English.
The prosody.
Exactly. And if you read aloud, you're actively practicing that rhythm, the intonation. It helps smooth out your accent, builds clarity.
Makes you sound more natural.
And feel more confident. Think of Aisha from Malaysia. She joined an online reading group. And her confidence just bloomed. She started speaking up, asking questions, even writing her own stories later. Reading gave her the words, yes, but also the feel for how they sound together. It's like a safe rehearsal space.
The quiet rehearsal, I like that. And then there's the connection to writing, which maybe isn't always obvious.
It's huge, but often unconscious. When you read good writing, you're essentially taking a masterclass without realizing it.
How so?
You just absorb it. Sentence structure, punctuation, how to build a paragraph, how to express thoughts clearly. It seeps in.
Like Stephen's experience.
Right. Stephen couldn't manage a full paragraph. Then he read 3 simple English novels. Just read them.
And then?
And then he wrote his first short story. The structure, the style, it had become more intuitive. He'd built an internal writing grammar.
Wow. And underpinning all of this communication, speaking, writing is that crucial thing we keep mentioning, confidence.
It really is the foundation. Finishing a story, even a simple one, and knowing you understood it, that gives you such a buzz.
The sense of accomplishment.
A huge sense of accomplishment. And that feeling is vital. It helps you overcome shyness, feel ready to actually use the language.
Like Lucy, the nurse.
Exactly. Lucy from Ireland felt shy at work. Reading regularly gave her that quiet confidence boost she needed to join conversations.
Okay.
And Thomas, the carpenter, reading didn't just help his English, it actually helped him connect better with his son. And Sarah, the housewife, felt genuinely powerful after finishing her first simple book. Small wins build big confidence.
That is powerful. It really drives home how books are windows, not just to language, but to emotions, other cultures.
They absolutely are. Stories are fantastic for building your emotional vocabulary. You connect with characters' feelings, fear, hope, love, and you learn how those feelings are expressed in English. Not just the words, but the nuances, the polite phrases, things like, I was touched by that, or let me know if you need anything.
You learn empathy through language.
Yes. Think about reading a story of a father protecting his family, or Mrs. Paris helping her neighbor. You don't just read the words, you feel the situation. That deepens your understanding of human connection in English.
And beyond the personal emotions, what about the cultural side?
Immensely valuable. Reading about different lives, customs, traditions in English-speaking places, it boosts your cultural literacy.
Makes conversations easier.
Much easier and richer, more meaningful. Grace and Laura, they read up on everyday English life before traveling.
Right.
And they said they felt so much more comfortable and more integrated when they got there. Or David, wanting a tourism job, his reading about English cities and history gave him a connection with tourists that went way beyond a phrase book.
That makes sense. And maybe surprisingly, there are mental health benefits too.
Definitely. It's often understated, but reading is a wonderful escape, a peaceful break.
Reduces stress.
It really can. It reduces stress, improves focus, teaches patience, and it can be a real source of comfort, even hope, during tough times.
Like Hannah's story.
Yeah, Hannah felt lonely after moving. She found comfort and hope in a book called The Warm House. Michael, the delivery driver, used reading on his breaks to deliberately switch off from work stress.
Just a mental reset.
Exactly. And Anna just reported feeling generally sharper, happier from her daily reading habit. It's like quiet personal therapy sometimes.
And you even mentioned practical problem solving. How does that work?
Well, stories often show characters dealing with everyday problems, right?
Sure.
And implicitly, you learn the language for navigating those situations, how to solve problems, express needs. It's practical language in action.
Got an example?
Like neighbors sorting out a fence issue in a story. You might pick up useful phrases like, let's find a solution, or I understand your concern.
Okay.
Or Anna losing her keys in another story. The way she asks, have you seen my keys? Or says, I can't find them. Those become natural ways for you to express those things. They're like little scripts for life.
Okay, this is all incredibly motivating. So for someone listening who feels inspired now,
Yeah.
how do they actually start? What's the practical advice for picking that first book?
Good question. The absolute first step is start simple. Really simple.
No Shakespeare yet.
Definitely not. Look for books aimed at teenagers, maybe short story collections, or even better graded readers.
Those books designed for learners.
Exactly. They're structured by language level, like Rachel, who started comfortably at level 2 and just worked her way up. Find your level.
And the topic matters too, right?
Hugely. Choose something you're actually interested in. Animals, adventure, romance, mysteries, daily life, whatever grabs you. If you like it, you'll stick with it.
Makes sense.
And if you're worried about understanding everything, maybe try a bilingual book, first English on one side, your language on the other. Great for quick checks.
Good tip.
But the main thing is, don't stress about understanding every single word. Just focus on the main story. Enjoy the journey. The little details will start falling into place over time.
Okay, start simple. Choose topics you like. Don't sweat every word. What about making it stick? Consistency seems key.
Consistency is everything. And it doesn't have to be hours a day.
No.
No, even just 10 minutes, but every day. That's enough. The goal isn't to race through books. It's to build a habit, a sustainable, enjoyable routine.
Like Omar, the delivery driver.
Exactly. He read during his lunch breaks, just consistently. And over 2 years, he finished more than 20 books.
Wow.
Yeah. And his English improved so much, people asked if he'd studied abroad. It's about weaving it into your life.
10 minutes a day adds up. Okay, so you've got your simple, interesting book. You're reading consistently. How do you really squeeze the maximum benefit out of it? Any active techniques?
Yeah, a few things can really amplify the learning. First, maybe keep a small notebook.
For words.
For words, yes, but even better, for phrases, those chunks of language. And then, this is crucial, actively try to use them.
In real life.
Yep. If you learn, make a decision from your book, try using it when you're choosing coffee or deciding what to watch. Make it active.
Okay, use the phrases. What else?
Read aloud sometimes. We mentioned it for pronunciation and rhythm, but it really helps cement the language in your head and boost speaking confidence.
Makes sense.
Third, after you finish a chapter or a section, close the book. Try to retell what happened in your own words, out loud if you can.
Like summarizing.
Sort of, yeah. If Emma visited her uncle's farm, just try describing that visit. It forces you to recall and produce the language. Great for memory and speaking practice.
Good one. Anything else?
One more, if possible. Read with a friend.
A book club, basically.
Could be that formal, or just agree to read the same book. Then you can chat about it, ask questions like, what did you think when David did that? Or why was Anna scared?
Forces you to think and talk in English.
Exactly. In a really natural, low-pressure way. Discussing the story makes the language active.
So this whole deep dive really reinforces it, doesn't it? Reading isn't just one tool for learning English.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it really feels like the cornerstone.
It's so multifaceted. You get the direct language learning, sure, the words, the grammar, but then you also get the confidence boost, the deeper cultural insights, the mental well-being aspect, and just genuine personal growth. It pays off everywhere.
A habit that really gives back.
Totally. In so many ways.
So a final thought for everyone listening. As you go about your day, maybe think about this. How might the next book you pick up teach you more than just English? What could it teach you about yourself or about the world? Could it open doors you never even knew were there?
That's a great question to ponder.
Maybe think about which book you might start with today.